you were the last person to speak to Achieng. How was she?
She wasn't doing too well. She was unwell on that day, but she came out to the recording of the show, and we had set up outside because it was a sunny day, and she said, I can't, you know, the stairs are just far too many.
Right.
Would it be okay if we just recorded upstairs at a different location? And we said, yes, of course, why not? And she said, thank you. And we said, it's not a problem, because we had scheduled an interview with her before, and she wasn't able to make it because she was in the hospital.
Right.
And to just have her come out was wonderful. And so I asked her before the interview, can we talk about what you're going through? You've lost a lot of weight, and of course, it has implications, and things are not quite what they should be.
Right.
And can we talk about that? And she said, no, I want to talk about my son. For Achieng, it was all about Prince. That was the only driver for her. And so even with the interview, it wasn't about her music or what she's been able to achieve. It was where Prince is, what he's going through, and what we can do to help.
And it was not your first time encountering her. From Tusker Project fame, when you worked on the show, she was principal at the time.
Yes, yes, she was principal for quite a few seasons, and Achieng always knew what she wanted. And that's the thing about people who know what they want. They will come off and maybe be seen or perceived as aggressive or abrasive by some people, but it's simply because you know what you want and you know where you're going. But at the end of the day, she had heart, and she could love, and she could sing.
And she could sing, absolutely.
She could sing, and when she would work with the students, she could tell the jokers from the serious singers. And those who followed her advice, they always made it to the top 5. And those who were just there for the ride, well, nobody remembers them.
So from the time that you stopped working on the show and she left the show as well, and till the time you did this interview, did you keep in touch? Did you see how she developed in her life? What happened with her?
We talked once in a while, but not as often as I would have liked. I'm not going to say we used to meet and have coffee and things like that, but the beauty about social media is you'd always keep tabs. You'd know what's going on with each other. And by the time I knew that there was a problem, there was already a group of people, and my mom was aware of what was going on. There were 4 wonderful individuals. There was Achieng, there was a lady called Lucy Lau, there was Lucy Mukera, and Mukora, sorry, and Luki Mboya, who had started helping Achieng raise money. And they were doing this as friends because they knew of what she was going through.
Right.
But then in May, they started the fundraiser itself. And when I heard about the fundraiser in May, I knew we had to have her on the show and just reach out to people to try and help her.
Did you get a sense from speaking to her that she felt people had abandoned her?
Yes, yes. She reached out to quite a few famous people. I know some of the people that she had reached out to, from journalists, musicians like herself. She reached out to all of us. That she did. And Larry, it breaks my heart that some of them did nothing. But yesterday, online, I was seeing their posts, and they were saying, rest in peace, and you were so great, and you did whatever you did with your music. And I felt so angry. I still haven't been able to go online and say what I feel about Achieng and what's happened. But people look at famous people and perceive and imagine that you have all this money in the bank and that when problems come that you will take care of yourself. Yes, being in the spotlight and holding certain jobs allows you certain privileges and you can make some money, but you invest like everybody else does. Sometimes you lose money like everybody else does, and sometimes emergencies happen like they do to everyone. And when you have done your best, there's a point you just don't have anything left, and so you start asking the first people. Who would those people be? Your fellow colleagues, the people in the same industry with you. Some of them just didn't give her the time. And when I told her, I would like to do this for you. It's a new show. I knew we barely have any audiences, but I said, I'm willing to give you this platform.
And she mentioned that in your interview that the last 5 years have been especially hard for her, and it's stretched all her resources.
Yes. Completely, they would. You're taking care of a sick young man, and then you've also got your own health issues.
Right.
even if you've got medical insurance, Larry, it will only cover you so far, and then you need help. And it just saddens me that the people she thought would be the ones to help her, many of them didn't do anything for her. And then when she's gone, there they are, and you know, saying all these wonderful, beautiful things. Why did you say something to her? Or even if you don't give money, you could have put it on your Facebook
Right.
or your social media. It would have gone a long way.
Finally, I know you haven't said anything on social media, but how will you remember Achieng? What kind of person was she?
Achieng was so many things. I love her because she was a brilliant mind. She loved books. And so I remember her for that. Many people won't know that she got an MSc in environmental studies, and her history is just littered with just educational achievements. But she went for what she loved. We didn't understand Afro jazz. We didn't get neo soul when it was beginning. But she pioneered and followed and chased after the things that she wanted to do. And she was a single mom. It's not easy being a mom. And then you're a single mom to a sickling. I can't imagine what she went through all those years. But she did the best that she could do.
Sheila, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate